Good evening, lovely tubers. My name is the White Mexican, and welcome to Market Watch Investments. I have a plethora of cards that I'll be showcasing for you guys tonight, and I do hope that you will enjoy. Gaming's Kickstarter tonight is going to be Rotonin. So these are actually the commons from the structure deck Freezing Chains, and these are actually worth pretty good money right now. So I know this wasn't a super popular structure deck, but if you guys bought a couple copies and you guys have a couple bulk stacks of these, starting market price for first edition that I played is going to be 6.5 bones and trickles up to about 7 bones after that. So there is some great value in this. Even if we switch over to bulk prices here, it's pretty much 6+ all across the board for this structure deck common. So if you guys have it, it would be a great sell target. Now, of course, there are some alternative variants, the original commons, which are roughly going for the same price. I'm personally going to be running the original first editions from the original core set Shining Darkness, just because the OTS Tournament Pack 4 super rare variants, being the highest rarity here that we have in the TCG, are very pricey now. Starting market price for these lightly played is going to be 26 bones for lightly played. And then, just out of curiosity, if you guys want near mint for collectability purposes, it's going to be about 30 bones. So it's pretty incredible. We'll go ahead and really quick and switch over to bulk prices just out of curiosity. Starting market price for bulk prices is going to be about that price of about 30-ish. Bones starting market price for that. So really great stuff. Again, if you guys have the commons from the structure decks or even the original core set, good sell value. Keep it play set if you guys are trying to play Splite though and you're gonna run the frog package engine. Next is going to be Moray of Greed. So this is the highest rarity that we have of this card, dawning as a super rare out of Astral Pack 1, which is a really great history merit, being that's the very first Astral Pack. Insanely old. Pot of Greed fish here coming out of a jar, really cool. And this just, really great draw power synergy with water decks in general, and it's gonna be interesting to see where this card goes. It always kind of fluctuates up and down. It's never really been a very affordable card specifically for this variant. I think the lowest I've ever seen is maybe like 3-ish, maybe 2.5, which really isn't that bad. Seeing how it is an Astral Pack super rare, very old, really great card in general. Starting market price for this for lightly plays is going to be about 5 bones plus, and it's going to trickle up to about 7. There is a stack of 5 here, and then a stack of 7 here for 9 bones. And it's only 2 pages of availability. So really great stuff. Of course, there are other variants. I believe they're all commons, which are going anywhere from a bone to about 2 or so, give or take. Because the super rare, it's so much more aesthetically pleasing. It's really not that much more. Well, it is a lot more compared to these commons. They're seeing that they're only like a bone a piece, but I really do, for long-term investment, I highly recommend that you guys invest in the super rare. I have several copies myself personally. Next is going to be the 2019 Gold Sarco tins for the prismatic promos of the God cards. Now, these are one of the many alternative arts of the God cards. They look really great. They have the artist signatures right here, and being that they are prismatic secret, a little biased, I really love secret rare, particularly prismatic secret rare is very gorgeous to me, and there's just something about these. Again, 2019 Gold Sarco tins was not that long ago. These are still plenty on the market, and I just think there's some kind of sense of great collectability behind these, and I think as we get further away from these particular artwork, being that they're prismatic secret and there are promos in this tin, like I'm talking about not in a couple years, maybe like 5-10 years, long-term investment, I think these are going to have some exponential growth, specifically for collectors' value. So we're going to go ahead and start to look at some bulk prices here, and I'm checking just near mint exclusively because, again, this is for collector's value and you want to go near mint. Again, there could be playability between these, certain decks like fanboy players that make a deck around this, it's fine, but for my intended purposes, showcasing this particularly is going to be for collector's value. So relatively affordable. I mean, even bulk prices near mint. So start roughly around 2 bones and jumps to about 3 quickly. I would personally feel most comfortable picking these up in bulk prices around 2. Unfortunately, this is really the only one this playset here that is available at those price points. Maybe you guys can check if you guys have alternative platforms to buy from, but anything that's like 2 or under for bulk prices for this, specifically for near mint, I think is a fantastic buy. Really quick, I want to go ahead and take a look at the other variants. So that was raw. My personal favorite is Slifer. I think Slifer looks awesome. He's the most badass, and you know, he's Yugi's God card, which is really cool for ties to the anime. All the guide cards are really cool, but this is just my favorite, and this actually is under a bone here for bulk prices. There is a stack of 5 here for 1+, then 1.5 for 8, so this is very much available for bulk prices, and quite a few for about the 2 and 1 bone range. There's a fat stack of 22 here, 22 for 2, 222, and this, again, like right now, it doesn't really seem like it now, but for everything I mentioned before, I think these have a lot going for them for long-term investment values for collectability purposes. Really quick, another thing that's really great is the movie pack, the Dark Side of Dimension. This looks fantastic. This is personally my favorite artwork of Raw. We have a lot of really cool prints of Raw, but this one specifically for the secret rares, because like Konami milked the set and made like 4 different variants or something. This is really great. I love how like this like gold embered fire looking, and this is just the best workout. Like every time I look at this, it's a really exciting artwork. I think they really just like mastered the artwork in this. And just out of curiosity, again, I think this is a great card for collectability purposes. Bulk prices for this is going to be around 4-ish, and then it's going to go to 5+ for a fat stack of 162. Completely up to you guys on that. Again, it's just some really great stuff. Personally, I think that's really nice, sharp looking card. Okay, and then the last is going to be Obelisk, of course. Now, so it looks like Raw was the most for about 3-ish range. Yes, Raw, and then Slifer was about 2, and then let's go ahead and take a look at Obelisk and see what we can find for near mint, specifically for bulk prices. So this is even more affordable than Slifer. Pretty much under a bone all across the board, even for these bulk stacks here for 22. So honestly, I think I'm probably going to go in and buy some of these, specifically for Raw and Obelisk, seeing that they are, again, just so affordable and pretty fat bulk prices. Again, some white Mexican theory for you guys, just putting out there food for thought. Next is going to be Foolish Burial, specifically the Lost Art promotion. Now, I think that this was a huge lost opportunity on Konami's part. I think the Lost Art promotion promos was a fantastic idea. They had the right mindset, but the sheer fact that they made all the promos, the disgusting rarity of ultra rare, it's terrible. That's why I really am not a fan of this set. But I will give a little credit to where it's due. That, and they chose like the worst cards to uncensor, like the lamest cards ever. Like this is one of the only, like this and Monster Reborn, maybe Dark Magician Girl, even though they could have picked so many other better artworks, they had to pick that artwork, which is kind of lackluster, in my personal opinion. But this actually does look really cool. Hate the rarity, love the artwork, and unfortunately this is the only variant that we have with the uncensored artwork. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at some market prices here. It's gonna be roughly around 19 bones for near mint. Again, I'm looking for near mint because I think this is more of a collector's card. Again, right now, technically this is a solo print, being the only variant that we have of this uncensored artwork. Time will tell if we get a different rarity, hopefully a secret rare, something actually nice. But it's pretty much 20 bones all across the board here for near mint copies. If you want to play this card, which again, like, you know, more power to you. I would love to play this card. I just think it's great that we finally got this artwork. It's the same thing. It's about 19 bones either or for Lightly Played near mint. So we'll go ahead and switch over to bulk prices just out of curiosity. Some Italiano Spanish, and then there's a stack of 3 here for 21, and then trickles up after that. So really awesome stuff. Next is going to be Vanity's Emptiness. So this is specifically the super rares dawning out of the subset, the Secret Forces. Now anything that is 2 bones or under for this for bulk prices, specifically for first edition, I think is a steal deal. This and Maxi are, in my personal opinion, some of the all-time most anticipated Forbidden Ban cards that players are wanting and waiting to come off the ban list, and they're just completely blowout cards. And this being the second rarity, highest rarity to the secret rare from, I think it was Legendary Collection 5Ds if I'm not mistaken, but this is just insanely more affordable, but still very much is a holofoil. It's still great for playability purposes. If it gets slightly played, it's not really a big deal because it's just a super, but it's no common. Starting market price for this, some Italiano ones for around 2 bones, and there's a stack of 8 here for about 2 bones for the played first edition. Then it jumps quickly up to 3 to 4, and then it trickles up after that. So I would not be surprised if this gets scooped off. This is a really good deal. Again, anytime this card goes down to 2 bones for bulk prices, first edition is a fantastic buy. Next is going to be Return of the Dragon Lords. So this is a really good card, and dragons have amazing support. There's so many different ways of playing dragons. It's one of the most supported monster types of ever in the game. And this card is just really diverse and has great artwork, and it's got some really killer rarities as well. So this is the highest rarity as a secret rare dawning from Legendary Collection, Kaiba's collection, which is just, you know, blowout set. A lot of great cards specifically for the secret rares. You guys should definitely check it out. Starting market price for this for Lolly Played first editions is going to be roughly around 7-ish, give and take, a little phantom under 7. Pretty much for near mints and Lolly Playeds. And there's a couple stacks here. There's 5 pages availability. These weird filters only doing 4 more, so we're just going to switch over to that, and then it goes to about 8 and then jumps to 15. So, and then it bombs out at 50, a very bolsterous, very confident, ambitious price of 50. I don't know, this is probably not going to sell, my personal opinion, but anyway, this is really great stuff. Again, really gorgeous and secret rarity. There is, of course, the original structured deck, Rise of the True Dragons, super rares, and then the commons that no one really cares about. But if you guys want to sell them, apparently they're going between 5 and 6 bones, so maybe some people do care about it. If you know, can find a buyer to sell to buy the commons, then you got some small value there. So just out of curiosity, I want to switch over to bulk prices because, I mean, let's be real, if you're going to play dragons, more than likely, I mean, depending on how you're building it, this is a little bit kind of like a slower dragon build, old school dragons, but still a very great card. Bulk prices here, I mean, if I would want to, like, why wouldn't you want to run a trip set of this? This is just an all-around, just well-rounded, fantastic card. So for the original Structure Deck Supers, first editions are going to be 6 bones, and they trickle up to about 7 after that, and there's a couple several here, so really great stuff. Next is going to be Thunder Dragon. So this is the OG Generation 1 Legacy. We're talking about Generation 1 Set 2, ladies and gentlemen, Metal Raiders Common. So this is fantastic artwork. Obviously it's insanely old, but the reason why I wanted to draw attention to this particular variant is because it's almost bought out, specifically for Near Mint Lolly Played first editions, original prints. Starting market price is about 19 bones, and then it goes to 22, and then 30, and then that's it. These are all 1 stacks, and it's just completely cleared off the market. So if you guys have this, particularly in bulk prices, that is really great value for you. Now, of course, there is other variants to this, like the Legendary Collection Kaiba Ultra Rares, which I think are fantastic, only because they are Legendary Collection Kaiba. You guys know me. If this didn't have Legendary Collection stamp on it, I would probably just, you know, throw it out the window or something, because I'm just not a fan whatsoever. But these ultra rares particularly are very part of this very small part of the market that I really enjoy. Ultra rares, being Legendary Collections, are amongst that. Now, of course, there is a super rare from Hidden Summoners, which is going anywhere between 2-3 bones, but this by far, even though I love my Generation 1 Legacy sets, first editions, original, I have a couple commons myself from MRD, this is very much the most aesthetically pleasing to me. and it just looks really, really great. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this one. And Thunder Dragons, I've never built Thunder Dragons. I really respect them. I really would love to build them one day. When Soul Fusion dropped and they are just like running rampant everywhere, and we had Colossus and all this really awesome stuff at full power, it was really, really fun to kind of see it. At the time I was living in Japan, so unfortunately I wasn't really able to like pick it up and play with it competitively, or really see kind of the excitement of the deck outside of like, you know, through YouTube and online and playing online and stuff. So anyway, just blowout deck. Great deck archetype to invest in personally, in my opinion. So okay, let's go ahead and look at first editions near mints. These are going to go for about 4 bones starting market price. There is a stack of 3 here. So not the most affordable card, not super expensive, but kind of like that mid-range there. And then trickles up quickly after that 4 bone to about 5, 7, then 8, and then 10. And there is only 1 page availability for bulk prices. So all around, just really great stuff on Thunder Dragon. Next is going to be Beatrice. So there's not that many prints of this. I think there's 2 or 3 prints of this. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and forgive me if I don't have the history right on this, I believe this was the original print as a secret, gold secret rare. Now again, I know a lot of players, a lot of players really hate gold rarity. I'm very much one of those players as well for the majority of gold sets, but for some of the gold secrets, they actually look really, really good. And I know it sounds kind of crazy, and you know, it's hard to believe, but I have several, like one of my all-time favorites is Hope Harbor, or Hope Harbinger, however you pronounce it, the rank 8 that you can suck up magic cards. It's really, really great. These look really good, and again, that's just my personal opinion. I know everyone likes different things, and that's cool, you know, power to players and all that stuff, but this is a really cool card. Obviously this is, you know, a Burning Abyss card, really great artwork, and again, we just don't really have a lot of options for this card, so in my personal opinion, I think by far this is the best one that we have, and I really do actually appreciate this rarity. Specifically, not all gold secrets, but for certain cards, Beatrice being very much one of those cards that I think looks really good. Starting market price for this for first edition is going to be roughly around 2 bones for you factor in shipping. And then let's go ahead and switch over to bulk prices, and then jumps up to about 5, and then quickly to 6 after that for the rest of the bulk prices. So do with you what you will with that. Now looking at alternative artwork or alternative variants, there was a premium gold rare from Maximum Gold, which is insanely affordable, and then this utter disgusting piece of rubbish is just, you know, not to be named. Okay, next is going to be Ghost Fairy Alphobia. So still to the date, what's cool about this is it's still a solo print. This card has not seen the light of day in the form of a reprint. Now, why would it? This card really is not that good. It would have been good. What they really jacked up on is that they limit it to the end of the main phase. If they would have made it for a whole entire turn, this card would have been really, really good. In my personal opinion, I think if they really restricted it by basically like cutting its power in half by only making it until the end of the main phase, if they would have made it to the end of the turn, again, that would just be pretty blowout in my personal opinion. But this is all for collectability purposes, because they nuked it and for whatever reason they decided to do what they did. It is what it is, but this card has fantastic artwork. I love like the Death Hallows behind this, the whole like black and red maroon apparel and like crimson, and this has got like Sleepy Hollow vibes all over it, slash like Halloween slash horror. Like, it's just really, really cool, and I love this card. I think this is a total waifu card. I think it's a total potential to be collector's card, and this has slowly been going very, very, very steadily up, and I'm actually really proud about that, because I don't really much know of anyone else who is talking about this card, and I've been talking about this card for years, and it's a small investment that I've been focusing on and off for several years now, and I just think it's an all-around really cool card to invest in personally. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at starting market prices. It's gonna be roughly around and this is specifically for first editions for bulk prices, again, because it's just always been a relatively affordable card. Very, very small articulation and value over the years. It's gonna be about 3 bones, and it stays like that for quite some time. There is a fat stack, an incredible 124 right here for near first edition. So again, I definitely think this has time to grow. I don't see this getting a reprint anytime soon, and even if it did, this is always going to be the best rarity. Okay, so enough of that. Number 80 is going to be next. So one thing that's really great about this card, it's one of the most generic of generics XYZs ever. 2 level 4 standard classic. The best part about this card is you can target any card. It doesn't have to be a monster specifically, or a magic, or a trap. You can remove from play any card from your opponent's graveyard, which is really, really great. There's a lot of crazy graveyard off-spark effects going on right now, and the best thing about it is you can use it twice per turn. So being generic, being that you can use it twice in one turn, remove 2 cards, any cards, I think is really, really blowout. Kind of silly artwork. I don't really know what's going on with this, big pimpin' purple cape here, but really cool rarity. Is super rare out of a very old set, Astral Pack 6, and relatively affordable too. Starting market price for this, there's some Antianos for 2 bones if you guys are interested, for some Euro prints, and it goes to about 3, Phantom under 3 for a fat stack of 39. Now, of course, there's one other variant, which is just a rare from the original set, Primal Origin. So, might as well just drop 3 bones and get the supers. This is actually something I'm looking to get at least a playset of, just a generic awesome removal, which is really, really cool. Which not a lot of people talk about, I don't think, at least that I haven't seen. Fairy Tale Snow is going to be next. So this came to 1, it's been at 1 for a little bit now. This is the highest rarity we have in the TCG as super rare. This is going for really good money, and pretty much like every competitive deck seems to be running this. I mean, why wouldn't they? It's a really, really card if you can. I mean, some decks can't play it, most can, and it's just an all-round like secondary great control card. Start market price for this, for a couple stacks here, for 18. 2 stacks that Lily played for 18, and it's pretty much 18 all across the board, and there's several pages here of availability. Now, it just got reprinted as a common OTS 19. I've actually pulled several of those myself, which, it's for playability purposes, why not? You have it. There's several different commons here. Now, personally, I don't know why the original core sets are worth so much more. I mean, like the OTS ones and the other reprints are like a bone, but apparently the first edition original ones are worth like 5. So I think that's a great sell if you guys have this. I mean, a common is a common for the most part. This isn't like a Generation 1 collector set. The Dark Illusion is old, but it's not a collector's set. So I would sell these, get a couple, 5 stacks for these if you have the original first editions, and then just play with the OTS 19 common. That's what I would personally do. Or, invest the ones that you sell for the commons and go and get yourself a super, because that actually makes a difference. That super hollow foil does look gorgeous. Next is going to be Shooting Riser Dragon. So I've never really read this card before until now, and it's been growing in popularity, and I've seen a lot of people whip it out at me in locals. And again, like it is a really good card, and it makes sense that why it's so popular. You can see the price trending here. It's like been trickling down, and now for the Shonen Jump Ultra Rares, which are, to my understanding, the highest rarities that we have here in the TCG, they're 10 bones, which I really don't think is that bad. Again, this is another card I'm looking to invest into, maybe 1 to 3 of these. I'm pretty sure this is at 1. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's at 1, and I can see why. It's a really, really good card. Now, there are the super rares from the special edition, which are Dark Neos. Even though I'm a big fan of super rares, they just come off really cheaply made specifically. There's very few special edition promos that I like. This one is not one of them. But if you want a more affordable option, these ones are only about 3 bones. So for playability purposes, why not? But personally, I think 10 bones for the very collectible Shonen Jump promos, which are discontinued, is a very sound investment. The last card I wanted to talk about is going to be Goatee of the Deep Beyond. So as of right now, apparently this is slotted to be one of the sneak peek promo ultra rares. Obviously it's going to find its way some other way through the set in Power of the Elements. This is an amazing set. A lot of people are anticipating. Me personally, I've invested in 2 cases of this, so I am, I've invested in this. I'm all in. I'm really ready for Splight, and I'm really excited to see what this set has to offer. Pretty blowout card. Obviously, you're gonna have to use, what is it? Probably like Helk for this. I'm not sure of any other ways there are to synchro on your opponent's turn outside of, again, Rising Dragon or Helk. Maybe you guys, probably more competitive players, you probably can comment below. There's probably other alternatives, but right now those are the only 2 options, viable options that I'm aware of that are easily to slap out to proc this effect. And I think this is a great card. It's a great card, really awesome artwork. I really hope that it comes as a secret. I think it would look really nice as a secret rare in Power of the Elements. And that is all I have for you guys tonight. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you've enjoyed this content, please share it with someone that you believe will also enjoy it. The world is a dark place and life is difficult. Be aware that you never know what others are enduring. Please remember to be a friend, be a brother, be a sister. Love and encourage those that surround you always. I hope you guys are making some fantastic Yu-Gi-Oh! Investments yourself. This has been a showcasing by the White Mexican, and I will see you in the next video.